In the spirit of reconciliation, New Japan Pro Wrestling acknowledges the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea, and community. We pay our respects to their elders, past and present, and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples today. The following contest is a tag team contest scheduled for one fall.
So with important announcements announced, it is time for Tamashii. From the Croxton in Thornbury, Melbourne, welcome everybody to NJPW World's coverage of NJPW Tamashii Volume 4. I'm Chris Charlton, and alongside me, despite albeit at some distance, a man for whom nothing in Australia happens without his say-so, a big domo, it's a Gino Gambino.
Oh, big domo, Chris, thank you so much for having me, and what an exciting night we've got ahead here at the Croxton Hotel in Thornbury. It is going to be one hell of a night, and it's a stacked card. I'm ready. Let's get into it.
Well, I was going to say thank you for having me. Thank you for flying me out here to
on my private jet, of course.
Yeah, private jet.
We couldn't afford Kevin's seat. He needed two.
Right, exactly. No expense spared for New Japan Tamashii, as already in the ring are Nikolai Anton-Bell and Shep Alexander of the New Zealand Dojo. And facing them...
Dojo, Chris, has turned out some fantastic names as well.
But, well, yeah, whether their names will last any longer in the face of these two remains to be seen.
Well, these are two hell of a competitors in Gore and Jake Andrewartha, the final boss. Call themselves the final Gore, which I enjoy immensely. But these are two mammoth men. Jake Andrewartha is 6'6" and 160 kilos. The man is not to be messed with. And not as well, a bronze medalist in judo in the Commonwealth Games. So a legit fighter looking to spread his wings and make a mark here in New Japan Tamashii.
And Gore, the physical embodiment of protein powder and psychopathy, a mountain of a man. Quite a bizarre connection between these two. Or Jake Andrewartha always seems to me, at least, not your typical Olympic judoka turned pro wrestler. A unique character indeed.
Well, Jake Andrewartha started off as the good guy in professional wrestling and then quickly discovered that you don't make friends with salad. And now the man's out there destroying people in that ring to make a name for himself. But you're right, these two haven't always seen eye to eye. But now they've come together and they're going to be a formidable team.
I don't think Gore has eaten a vegetable in his life.
He doesn't have to. I think he just eats the souls of children, to be honest, the way Gore is. He is an absolutely scary individual. And I don't think there's anyone that these two would be afraid of.
We're going to get underway with Nikolai Anton-Bell being the first human sacrifice to Gore on tonight's proceedings. Nikolai Anton-Bell, a relatively new addition to the New Zealand Dojo.
Let's not forget Australia's senior referee in Edwin Lay. Always good to see him calling the action right down the middle.
There you go, you see, this is why we have you on. You've got the inside scoops and everything. Kelly doesn't know who the senior referee in Melbourne is.
Kevin doesn't even know who I am. It's fine. And Gore with a flex there and just showing the power he has, throwing the young New Zealand Dojo line around. And I think the young lions here are going to be in a little bit of strife, Chris.
Yeah, it doesn't look good on paper or in practice when it comes to Nikolai Anton-Bell and Shep Alexander on the apron here. A little bit more experienced than Anton-Bell is. Joined the New Zealand Dojo, has been wrestling pro for about a decade at this point, but like so many others, joining the New Zealand Dojo to up their game. And like you said, Gino, certainly Fale's crew turning out some incredible prospects and young talents, and viewers of New Japan over in Japan will be familiar, of course, with Oscar Lyrebird, working his way through the Noge Dojo system at the moment. Nikolai Anton-Bell not handling himself quite adequately right now.
Yeah, quite surprising. Gore's mat game is very strong. So the fact that Bell's able to get ahead of, but Gore just picks him up with ease and sets him into the corner. And I think Bell might be in for a little bit of trouble here.
Yeah, you might be right. And a reaction from our capacity crowd here in the Croxton, an intimate venue here in Thornbury and Melbourne, but sold out pretty much instantly. And
I love this venue, Chris. I've had a few rumbles here myself. I wrestled the one and only Jonah here in a dog collar match that went throughout the whole venue. So, well, here comes Alex Shepherd. He's got some ideas. I think he wants to square up against Gore, but I think Gore's had enough of throwing other people around, so we might see a bit of Jake Andrewartha action.
One of the great things, I think, as we see more of Tamashii going on is more of those, like you said, Gino, those intimate venues and those different settings that you get in Australia, and the unique character that kind of brings. But
well, the other great
almost
thing,
touching the ceiling here, Gino.
Well, Chris, you know yourself, we've been to many different venues throughout Japan that sometimes people who aren't regular viewers of New Japan World might miss when we're on tour for the Super Juniors or the G1. We often visit small towns and different venues, so this might give the opportunity. Oh my God, Jake Andrewartha is out of. Wow, that spinning wheel kick. I think that might be it, Chris. We're done.
Oh shit! Perhaps should have been with Shep Alexander able to kick out an instinct. Just one.
Did you hear the noise? The noise on that echoed throughout the Croxton. That was incredible. For a big man, he was able to get himself over and nearly took Shepard's head off. And now Jake Andrewartha is just going to take his time and torture Shepard just that little bit.
They're going to draw the line here at isolating Shep from Nico and Anton-Bell. It says a lot of these two guys. Gore and Andrewartha, that they're isolating the bigger man of the two. It doesn't really seem to matter when you're.
I don't think anyone's the bigger man to them. I think everyone's just at the same level. They see everyone as underneath them, and rightfully so. These are two legitimate guys that, honestly, I've had the displeasure of facing both of them. And I tell you, Chris, it is not a fun time in that ring. And right now, they're taking their time with Alex Shepherd. It's now the exploder from Gore, and he's just carrying around another human.
My goodness, almost threw Shep back over to Sydney, where we were the night before this event.
It's a great intimate venue, and again, you're going to get an opportunity to see some of New Japan's best and the bright and youngest from Australia up close and personal. That's what I love about Tamashii.
Yeah, that's certainly a great part of the Tamashii brand. And plenty more to come just from this night alone. A loaded card, of course, right at the top. Caveman Ugg will be taking on Aaron Henare from the United Empire. And a little bit of teacher versus student, Gino, later on with Carl Fletcher taking on your mate, Robbie Eagles.
Yeah, my best mate, Robbie Eagles. And I think that's going to be one hell of a match. And I'll call it early. Could possibly be an early contender for match of the year as well. Both men very suited to each other's styles, and it's just going to be one hell of a competition. But now we're watching Jake Andrewartha really take it to Shepard. Shepard's in a lot of trouble. He's taking a fair bit of beating, and it doesn't look like Gore or Jake Andrewartha are tiring. Shepard trying to fight back, but he's going to have to do a lot more than that.
Trying to use his height there to crank down on Andrewartha. Goes to right.
Andrewartha, again, just picking up another grown man and using him for throwing practice. And great count there by Edwin Lay. I'd like to see more of Edwin Lay in New Japan. Chris, make it happen.
Is he? Can we call him the Australian Tiger Hattori?
Yeah, I love it. That sounds good to me. Hey, man.
Did you forget your name too?
If I know who I am. Well, Shepard trying to fight back. A drop kick there out of the corner. Hanging on as hard as he can. Goes underneath Jake Andrewartha, but Jake Andrewartha catches him by the legs.
Great. Oh, this is going to be great. Oh, my goodness. Alexander out the back door, just inches away, but it must feel like miles to Anton-Bell.
Both men fighting back in a tag there, finally bringing in Bell, who's going to try his best to take on both men at once. You'd say these dojo boys are getting a bit of a trial by fire here in Melbourne.
Well, that's the role of being a dojo boy, whether it's New Zealand, LA, or in Japan. But Nikolai Anton-Bell doing, as I say, doing his best. A lot of pent-up energy on that apron.
Young boy, he wants to prove himself and prove that he can take on the best, and he's trying to turn Gore over here for what looks like a Boston Crab, one of the, as we know, stock standard moves that the young Lions get to use during their matches, and he's trying his hardest as he's laying the boots and he's locked it in, Chris. He's got the Boston Crab on.
Yeah, but there is no punishing Gore. The upper strength instantly. Either. Yeah, right over to the corner.
Gore able to use his absolute strength to crawl over to Jake Andrewartha and make that blind tag. And a nice drop kick there.
Going for seconds. And what? He staggered Andrewartha and now bringing Shep Alexander back inside.
Well, they're both going to have to think of something here to get Jake Andrewartha off his feet. And they hit it. The double drop kick finally dropping Jake Andrewartha, and this might be an opportunity for those young Lions. Gore able to break it up just in time. Edwin trying to get control of this match, but he might be in a bit of trouble if he tries to take on Gore.
Well, I think we can say goodnight to Shep Alexander.
And the same for Bell. Gore using one man to assault another. And that might be it for the New Zealand Dojo team. And a 3 count and a win for the final Gore.
It is your winner, the team of Jake Andrewartha and Gore, the finals.
Quite a heavyweight combination indeed. Tamashii just getting underway, but if there is a tag team division to be found here in Oceania in the next coming weeks and months, then I think Andrewartha and Gore will be a formidable combination.
And definitely stomping their win there as they make Shep at bay for, I think, even thinking about taking them on. But you're right, a great tag team, and we've got a few tag team matches tonight, so I love the idea of a tag team tournament. Chris, why don't we put one together? Me and you can team up. What would we call our team?
The following contest is scheduled for one fall with a 30-minute time limit. Introducing first.
Well, we had a change to this match at late notice. Unfortunate due to injury, Jim Reyes was not able to make it tonight, but we have one hell of a replacement for everyone here. But more importantly, one of Bad Luck Fale's favourite students, and one that he thinks is going to be one of the biggest breakout stars as well, in Richard Mulu.
Richard Mulu's been a part of the New Zealand Dojo since 2018.
Entering the ring at this time and fighting in the red corner, representing the New Zealand Dojo, Richard Mulu!
Made his debut at the last set of Tamashii events, and still with that long journey to go, Gino, but obviously good size on the man and an incredible amount of charisma. But biggest fan favorite perhaps we've had at Tamashii in these last 3 events.
Well, I haven't been on the show yet, so let's just take it easy. But you're right, he you know I love a big dude, but he's going to take on the might and power that is Jarvis. Jarvis was a late replacement for Jim Reyes, and he stepped up to the plate. And I'm telling you now, if he can get a win here tonight, he's probably going to have a permanent spot on the Tamashii show.
Jarvis not exactly getting the warm reception from Melbourne that Richard Mulu.
And which is interesting because he's the hometown boy, but I guess he's got other ideas. He wants to prove himself. He doesn't care what the crowd thinks. If he can take down Richard Mulu as quick as he wants, I tell you now, it's going to be a shock to everyone in that crowd.
Well, this is going to be an openweight contest.
Entering the ring, fighting out of the blue corner tonight, replacing Jim Reyes here tonight, this is Jarvis!
Andy Coyne calling the action in the ring for us as well tonight. man whose voice is well known across Australia. And it's absolutely a pleasure to have him on board as well. He's one of your countrymen. Did you know that, Chris?
Oh, well, there we go. We're all connected.
You're all cousins
Arms
somehow.
across the world. Yeah, I'm sure I know him. Sure he's called a few matches at the Tapping 10, Gino.
Well, he wrestled in England, so maybe you guys had a match together. Remember you trying to wrestle Chris? You don't want to talk about that, do you?
Yeah, no, I never want to talk about it.
I'm going to find that match and we'll share it on New Japan World. It's Jarvis flexing those biceps to prove that he doesn't care about the size of Richard Mulu, but he's going to take him on.
Jarvis, a very athletically capable, really can do an awful lot in the ring, but he has the attitude and he tends to, let people know about it, and he can't push down Richard Mulu, Gino.
Oh, Richard Mulu's one-man mountain. So look, give it to Jarvis. He tried his best. He just needs a bit more support from the crowd. Try again, son. Well, that didn't work his second time, but that's okay. Go to plan B. That's not plan B.
Plan B might be to get the hell out of the Croxton here. And Mulu providing the assist.
Mulu wants him back into the ring, and Jarvis slowly making his way in. He's going to have to think of a better plan than what he's done so far. Jarvis has a lot of speed on him, so if he can start making Mulu move around,
maybe with a step ladder, then Jarvis could be a good head clear of Richard Mulu.
Well, Mulu just threw that haymaker now, and Jarvis gets moving. He paid for it, though, again. He changed his tactic and thought that speed was going to pay off, but Mulu had other ideas, and now Jarvis in a lot of trouble.
So Mulu gained a lot of popularity by being a part of the Lions Raw docu-series. You can see the journey that these young lions have in the New Zealand dojo system in that documentary series on New Japan World, and it seems Mulu almost works, has that motivation to work harder than pretty much everybody else, not just in training, Gino, but outside the ring, doing a lot of great community work, and that's why he is so popular.
There's now Jarvis able to make it an open hand snap. That might not be a good idea for Jarvis. He seems happy with himself, but Mulu's got other plans, I think.
Yeah, he got one in.
And now he's going to pay for it. Mulu can take all the time in the world here with Jarvis now as he's got him in the corner and pinned down.
Yeah, let's call a timeout here.
Yeah, good idea. Edwin, timeout. Oh, and a chop block to the rear of the knee. Big kick, and that's the best way, or the best thing Jarvis can do for himself here. He's chopped that redwood down. You take the legs out from underneath him, and he's going to be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, the old cliche, everybody's the same size once they're down on the ground, and if Jarvis can get on top of Mulu here, then it will reduce the size and the power advantage of his opponent, but I don't think that this is the right way to do it, Gino, when it comes to showing off to the crowd.
Well, look, he does like a little bit of boasting, and hopefully it pays off for him, but we have seen in the past that's probably not the best game plan as he goes back to that knee of Mulu, and Mulu's going to be in a fair bit of trouble here. He's going to have to try and get moving on that leg, and now a drop kick to it as well. And another for good measure, and now Jarvis is starting to feel it.
Well, now starting to pick up steam, you're right, and striking in combinations, but he couldn't resist taking that extra second, well, planted with the sky high, and that was very nearly over.
Again, Mulu holding onto that knee. It's definitely done some damage, but he was able to get that sky high out of desperation. And Jarvis, that one impact move just sent him back to the mat. And now all that momentum's gone back into Richard's favour. But can he stay standing on that leg?
Well, not if Jarvis has anything to say about it. And still with a singular focus, and you can't really fault that.
Look, we said he needed to change the game plan early, and he has. But Richard Mulu again, a sky high again that's just led Jarvis head first into that mat. And probably not the best pin that Rich could have gone for there, but
Yeah, well,
there's
there you
definitely great momentum coming back and swinging towards Rich and Mulu's way.
go. The red shoes wouldn't have counted that one, but
Edwin Lay, I'll have a chat to him, Chris, don't worry. And back to, did he just go to the eyes?
he did go to the eyes, all over the eyes, and then a handspring into a cutter.
And Jarvis might have him here.
Yeah, Shiny Wizard to follow up. Here we go. Cover and 2, and
5 minutes
almost,
has
but not
expired.
quite, getting an upset over Rich and Mulu here.
That shining wizard right under the chin of Rich Mulu is now Jarvis heads to the top rope.
Right, yeah, he might right up at the roof of the Croxton, and enough of a base for Mulu.
He's done it.
Well, there you are. It was a case of low clearance off the roof there, and
What have you got against the roof, Chris? You keep bringing it up. The man got a win. Celebrate with him. Straight out of the New Zealand dojo, flies all the way to Australia and gets himself a win.
a very, very impressive win for Rich and Mulu. Caught Jarvis out of midair.
The following contest is a tag team contest scheduled for 1 fall with a 30-minute time limit. Introducing first.
Now, the moment of the night I've been waiting for, Chris. My two most favourite people in the world, even though I'm just going to say very, very quietly between you and I'm not in the Rogue Army. No one's asked me to be in the Rogue Army, but that's for another time and another place. But we're joined here by the founding members of the Rogue Army in Bad Luck Fale and Jack Bonza.
Right. This has been the talking point all the way through Tamashii since its inception back last November.
Entering the ring at this time, representing Bullet Club, this is Jack Bonza, Bad Luck Fale, the Rogue Army!
This battle event in PWA where Jack Bonza is facing Shingo Takagi in singles action. We watched it happen, but Fale comes up from behind. There are shenanigans, a low blow, and Jack Bonza gets recruited into Bullet Club. Now it seems Bad Luck Fale wants to grow the numbers. And we've got our own subgroup of Bullet Club within Tamashii, the Rogue Army, and we're going to get to another new member, it seems, in Lyrebird Luchi in just a little bit. But before all that, Fale and Bonza taking on the New Zealand Dojo duo, Andrew Villalobos and Michael Richards.
We've seen Michael Richards a few times
Fighting
on New
out of
Japan
the
World.
red corner and representing the New Zealand Dojo, Andrew Villalobos and Michael Richards.
Maybe stepped on a small excursion in Japan and now here to take on, what would you say? I would say it's his mentor in Bad Luck Fale.
Well, I mean, you're certainly right that the journey that both of these guys have undergone in the New Zealand Dojo, now both graduated and looking to make a mark, and the journey that Michael Richards has gone under since the last time since you and I were calling his matches in that Young Lion Cup in 2019. Oh, wait a second.
You do not boo the Rogue Army.
Yeah, listen to him, Chris.
As we've demonstrated recently, the Rogue Army is recruiting. We're looking to add new members and Luchi does not suck. Unfortunately, we've been having a look around. And honestly, I don't think there's a single wrestler in this shitty state who is good enough to join us.
Hey, what about me?
That's what you have issue with.
People like Slex, People like Mitch Waterman. People like Caveman. Until this garbage state and their garbage people can produce a half-decent motherfucking wrestler, we're just gonna have to keep kicking the shit out of losers like you two. Good luck.
Gino, I cannot believe that you're taking umbrage at Jack Bonza saying is not enough talent, you want to be part of the Rogue Army. You know, ignoring the fact that he just disparaged your entire home state here in the wonderful...
Forget my home state, Chris. I just want to be in Rogue Army. You know me, I just want things I don't have. If they get tracksuits, though, let me tell you something. You and I will make our own commentary team tracksuits. But I'm going to be honest with you. I think the dojo graduates here are in for a bit of a treat because I don't think Bad Luck Fale and Jack Bonza are in good moods tonight.
Well, that being said, Michael Richards and Andrew Villalobos, an impressive combination. So
look,
far.
they're not a team
I
to
mean,
be. Yeah, we can't underrate them. We can't sit here and say they haven't got a chance. But we're looking at two individuals in Jack Bonza and Bad Luck Fale who you would say are ring generals who have spent a lot of time in those ropes. So, you know, the team of the New Japan Dojo boys, or the graduates as I like to call them, they're going to have their hands full, but doesn't mean they don't have an opportunity.
And Villalobos main evented the first New Japan Tamashii card against Kenta, and then the next night, or a couple of nights later, Villalobos and Michael Richards teamed up to defeat Caveman Ugg and Ricky South in Sydney, which is an impressive victory. But Gino, to fans that aren't familiar, perhaps, with Jack Bonza, a guy that's been part of the Australian fabric for a long, long time.
You can say that Jack Bonza is part of the royalty of wrestling in New South Wales, but they're just got a bit of a shove, and he's not going to be too happy about that. But a man who's held many titles across many different states in Australia and definitely holds his own in the ring, and Jack Bonza becoming one of the first members of the Rogue Army really set the standard of what's to come. And on a personal note, me and Jack Bonza don't get along. Well, that's another story, and that's maybe why I'm not in Rogue Army. But I'm going to bring that up in our next team meeting.
Which team meeting? What team meeting are you in? What group text are you in?
The Bullet Club team meeting, the Rogue Army team meeting, the commentary team meeting. There's lots I need to say. Jack Bonza now eats a boot out of that corner. And the Rogue Army's in a bit of trouble early on.
And Villalobos has really put himself together, but Fale doing a number now, and well, here's the plan being laid. They'll separate Andrew Villalobos here from Michael Richards, and Fale going to make sure that happens. A little bit of enforcing outside the ring here, Gino.
And again, this is where the experience of tag team wrestling with Bad Luck Fale, we've seen him in a number of World Tag Leagues, and he has definitely shown that he is capable of winning a World Tag League as well one day. Him and Chase Owens as a team are one of the strongest throughout the tournament. So there's a lot of experience here that maybe the team of the New Zealand Dojo graduates don't just have yet, but they're holding their own here. They're coming back at him. The Rogue Army's trying to prove a point, but either Andrew Villalobos or Michael Richards have an opportunity here to pin either Bad Luck Fale or Jack Bonza in Melbourne.
Well, I've got a feeling that although a victory over Jack Bonza would say a lot for their careers, then it's a chance here to get one up on someone that's put them through a lot of torture in the New Zealand dojo in the form of Bad Luck Fale.
Look, this is their opportunity to maybe get a couple of sneaky shots back at Bad Luck Fale for all those squats, push-ups and sit-ups he's made him do. But now Jack Bonza with that neck breaker is making that chance less and less likely.
Villalobos coming into this match already with a little bit of tape across the trapezius there, perhaps already dealing with a little bit of neck damage. And Jack Bonza honing in on that, now cranking the neck, as Villalobos has got to carry a lot of weight if he wants to get to Michael Richards.
Yeah, Jack Bonza is an intelligent wrestler, and he's going to see something like a bit of tape, a bandage, a wobbly knee, some straps, and he's going to work on it. And then bad luck Fale making sure that tag doesn't happen. Again, the Rogue Army showing why they're the formidable tag team in Tamashii.
All the air being driven, the windpipe being crushed, and there's the tag again. It's a bad luck Fale. Fale's regular tag team partner, of course, Chase Owens, part of the New Japan Cup lineup.
How do I end up on that lineup, Chris?
Well, I thought you were training to be a part of Best of the Super Juniors team.
Yeah, look, we'll get there. I promise we'll get there.
Closer now. Yeah, you're getting closer day by day, it seems.
Look, at this point, we've lost 400 pounds, so we're doing well. But bad luck Fale then, look at that, going straight back to that trapezius and the neck. They're really focusing and cutting that off to make sure they have the advantage.
It seems whether it's the Rogue Army or whether it's Bullet Club proper or whether it's House of Torture, maybe there are degrees of it, but the design is always the same. To take the air out, the opponents and the air out the building here, and the Croxton crowd sold out, jam-packed here, willing Villalobos to get something together. Michael Richards not even on the apron, thanks to bad luck Fale.
Richards hasn't even had a chance to warm up his boots in this match. And he's probably thanking God for that at the moment because he's avoided a lot of that torture. And the crowd not happy with bad luck Fale. And let me just say, when him and I used to tag him together, he was a crowd favourite. Now look what's happened.
I was just watching some of those matches back a little bit ago from the 2018 tour that we ran across Australia, and that's perhaps set the seeds for what we see today with Tamashii.
I'd just like to apologise for my poor performance, Chris. I tried my best.
You can make it all better with getting us all tickets to Wagga Wagga. Oh, snap suplex. And Jack Bonza.
Yeah, Bonza absolutely dominating now, and so is bad luck Fale. Fale, that Rogue Army team, let's go for that 2 count there. Great call by Edwin Lay, straight down the middle. Hasn't involved himself too much in his tag team match, even though there has been a little bit of tomfoolery. But now we see the tag to bad luck Fale, and again, the Rogue Army boys taking care of business.
Is this means, it seems you can't resist putting over the referee in every single one of these matches so far. This is how you've earned your success across the Australian landscape, obviously.
Edwin Lay is one of the greatest referees in Australia, Chris, and I will not have you besmirch his name. How dare you? How dare you?
There it is.
You thank him a big domo. You tell him big domo for all his hard work.
I'll send him a big domo basket later.
And again, bad luck Fale, they're making quick mess of Michael Richards on the apron, and Andrew trying to fight back now. It really doesn't seem to be having any effect, and bad luck Fale chopping him down.
Yeah, that left arm hanging down by the side of Villalobos seems to be clutching his ribs as well. Just absolutely battered and worked over.
And he made him pay right there. There's one thing you don't do is you don't try and take your anger out on bad luck Fale, because he will make you pay that debt.
We've seen so far this second tag team match we're seeing here tonight a little bit of a smaller ring here at Tamashii than perhaps in Japan, which usually makes it easier to make the tags. It's more incumbent on the power of Fale to keep Villalobos separated, which is still doing, but now Villalobos gets a break.
Michael Richards wants that tag so badly. He's revving up the crowd, trying to get it, trying to motivate. And finally the tag he's made, and Michael Richards comes in like a house on fire, and he wants it. He wants all of the Rogue Army.
Still not quite able, but wobbles Fale. Third time lucky. Maybe not.
Big shot to the gut from bad luck Fale, and Michael Richards' momentum is stopped in its tracks.
And just like with Villalobos moments earlier, Richards getting an absolute mauling in the corner.
Richards now firing back corner to corner, picking up that pace.
Can he? Now he does. Knocks Fale down.
And Richards is feeling it as the crowd here in Melbourne get behind him. Did he? Oh, Jesus.
Very nearly.
Such a close call.
And Michael Richards enjoying an incredible transformation since we saw him in the 2019 Young Lion Cup. Really took some of those losses and disappointing performances to heart, transformed his body, transformed his mindset. But Fale powering through both of his students there with that double tackle.
The tag to Jack Bonza now, as the Rogue Army's going to look to finish this off. We both know the longer that the Rogue Army's in this match, the less likely they have a chance to put it away easily. But Jack Bonza too sweeting and looking to finish it off right now.
Oh, classical finish on inside cradle. Villalobos nearly gets it.
Oh, and the jumping knee right under the jaw. Two close calls there for the Rogue Army. It was almost over.
The Jack Bonza sweating a whole hell of a lot, and Villalobos looking to put Bonza away here. Can't lace the arms on that underhook. Damage done earlier in the night. Tries to swap Bonza away with a boot. Oh, and just gets clobbered.
Bond's almost taking his heads off, and now he's going to look to finish this as quick as he can. Those two close calls has made him think, I don't want any more of this.
Fale taking care of Richards out on the floor, and that is a shot right to the back of the skull. Now the STF applied in an instant. Tap out for Villalobos.
And a definitive win there for the Rogue Army. Jack Bonza with the STF.
Here is your winners, as a result of a submission, Jack Bonza, Bad Luck Fale, Rogue Army.
But it's been a rocky period of late for Bullet Club when it comes to Switchblade Jay White's exile from Japan, but certainly it seems like Australia is on lockdown with Fale, Bonza and the Rogue Army.
Mate, we've been in lockdown for 2 years. What are you talking about?
But
That was 2 years ago, Chris. We're free now.
We're free.
The following contest is a tag team contest scheduled for one fall with a 30-minute time limit. Introducing first.
More tag team action to come. And once again, the New Zealand Dojo music playing to bring out Jake Taylor and John
Entering
Alan-Wright.
the ring at this time and representing the New Zealand Dojo, fighting out of the red corner tonight, this is Jake Taylor and Jordan Alan-Wright.
What's in the water down at the New Zealand Dojo? Lots of big boys coming out of there.
Yeah, it's incredible to see
And their
these young
opponents.
lions come out of the dojo just jacked to the gills. The training is hard, but it's paying off.
And again, another tall task for these great young talents when it comes to facing really perhaps tag team royalty when it comes to Australian wrestling.
Yeah, the Natural Classics have held their own throughout Australia with multiple championships. multiple wins over internationals as well. And it is going to be difficult for Jake Taylor and Alan-Wright to step up to their level. But if they can match, even if they don't get the win, if they can just show that they're competitive against the Natural Classics, there's definitely a future in their eyes.
The blue corner, they are multi-time former Australian tag team champions, Tom and Stevie Philippe. Ladies and gentlemen, the Natural Classics!
Both these men have enjoyed success both in Australia and overseas, and definitely have made a name for themselves as one of the top tag teams.
But certainly the Phillips seem to be always constantly on the brink of their international breakout, just as teams like Aussie Open have done, just like Shane Haste and Mikey Nichols have done just right around. As this event was taking place, up in Sapporo, Shane Haste, Mikey Nichols challenged Bishamon for the IWGP Tag Team Championships. And certainly a platform like Tamashii could be just the place for the Natural Classics to catch the eye of matchmakers in Japan, in America, and beyond.
Home and Stevie Philippe definitely have all what you'd call, I'd say, like a blue chip stock. You'd want to put money on them knowing that would be a payout in the future, because these two men have everything that you look for in pro wrestling.
And it will be the junior heavyweight of the two from the New Zealand side, Jordan Alan-Wright.
Junior heavyweight? He's got to be at least 100 kilos. Look at the size
there you
of the
go.
man.
I mean, he's aspiring to be a junior heavyweight. Accordingly, apparently, these notes, thanks to Ite Lamalu, who does great jobs over at the New Zealand Dojo, help me out with some of these. But yeah, Jordan Alan-Wright certainly seems to be in that solid junior heavyweight angle, right at 100 kilos perhaps, right around that sort of Clark Connors-like position for him.
I was going to say he's in the Shingo camp. All of a sudden, everyone's a light heavyweight. You just need to say so.
So everybody's struggling to make weight all the time.
How much weight do I have to lose to be a light heavyweight, Chris?
How much weight do I have to gain to be a heavyweight?
Let's swap. There should be some sort I can give you my belly fat.
If I was 100 pounds heavier and you were 100 pounds lighter.
What a tag team it would be. And this tag team of the Natural Classics now, not happy with what the fans have to say. They will have a point to prove. A strong definitive win here would be important for them. But a quick roll up there by Alan-Wright. And I think that stunned the Phillips a little bit.
So yeah, I first saw the Phillips when we were in Australia a few years ago for Southern Showdown. And it seemed then that the sort of early scouting report, okay, they're brothers, they're very dynamic, very skilled wrestlers. And we always kind of think of the Hardys, or we think of the Young Bucks, but really they've sort of taken it unto themselves to become their own men, and a very different kind of team from the Natural Classics.
They've definitely grown as their own name that can stand with Team DK, with the Young Bucks. And you could talk about the Natural Classics, as you said, as individuals, as their own tag team. They're not trying to imitate anyone. They're not trying to pretend to be something they're not. They are a serious world-class tag team.
Jake Taylor certainly has it in him to be a serious world-class heavyweight. 6'5", came into the New Zealand Dojo right around the same time as Oscar Leubert, and certainly have been learning the art of being a big man and taking some of those lessons. When you have such a giant like Fale part of the system, that's a great person to learn that style from.
Yeah, look at that. I'm such a fan of Jake Taylor. I think you're right. He has all the makings of a varsity athlete. He's someone who's going to, I think, skyrocket once his journey as a young lion is over. But an absolute man mountain as he just goes toe-to-toe now with Tom Philippe.
A chop not doing much on Jake
He's
Taylor.
just made him upset. I think he's just angry.
It just lit him up.
Now the Natural Classics thinking Is this going to be as easy as we thought it would be? And a nice tag there from both teams. And a good sign of respect as well that they want this to be, or maybe not respected by Stevie.
Yeah, certainly Stevie doesn't seem to have a lot of respect in him, but there you go. There's a little bit of that junior heavyweight pace from Alan-Wright and a nice knockdown. Great.
But there with the raised knee there by Time Smart, and he hangs him up on the rope in a drop kick.
Just Stevie almost clearing the top of Jordan Alan-Wright's skull, got him right in the forehead with those two boots. And now the Natural Classics will go to work.
And this is where they start dominating. They cut that ring in half, work together as a team. Again, brothers have a connection that's beyond just wrestling. There's an understanding of each other without even speaking, and now they're just going to do exactly what they do every single time, and what's made them such a strong team.
And that's something that, I spoke with Kevin about a while ago when it came to the size that a Carl Fletcher has put on in recent weeks, and how that's helped him, recent months rather, how that's helped him in the UK. And I'm sure it's the same in Australia, Gino, where you have so many diverse environments. Sometimes you're wrestling in big rings, sometimes you're wrestling in might be a 16 by 16 ring, or something of this size of a Tamashii ring. And that power helps you control your opponent and keep them in the wrong corner.
Oh, you're so spot on, Chris. There's so many variables when you are wrestling in the independent scene, be it in Australia, the UK, or even in the US. Things are always changing, and you need to be able to hold your own. And you're right, the size that Kyle Fletcher's put on, even the size that the Natural Classics have put on as well throughout their years, it's nothing but a positive and nothing but an advantage each time you're wrestling someone.
Clearly, the work being done on the midsection here, just like we spoke about earlier, spotting a little bit of bandage, a little bit of rib crane, some of those intercostal muscles there just being stretched, tortured by an abdominal stretch.
Again, very smart there by the Phillips, focusing in on what you would say is probably the one team member in Alan-Wright that's not 100%, but again, a desperation hip toss might just be enough.
I think maybe that was perhaps a little bit of difference in experience levels there. Jordan Alan-Wright thinking that he could push the advantage rather than tagging in Jake Taylor.
Yeah, tag there would have probably helped that team immensely, but now Alan-Wright trying to just stand on his own 2 feet and fight back. You can see that fighting spirit's deep in him as he throws those elbows.
Up in the lights went Jake Taylor, but landed on his feet. And now might have the opportunity with that suplex. Took so much out of his midsection. That's a long way to go to make his corner.
Yeah, we're talking about that experience, and if you see where he's landed, he's literally the furthest away he could be from his tag team partner. And he's got Stevie in the middle as well to deal with. So, can he crawl over? Can Alan-Wright make that tag?
No, he cannot, is the answer to that. As Tone making the cut there, you see just the difference in tag team levels perfectly illustrated.
Yeah, the Phillips have got their game plan down.
5 minutes have expired.
And a bit of showboating there by Tone Philippe. Oh, almost aiming to break the wrist there of Alan-Wright.
Crack down on the elbow and the wrist. And look at that, one fluid motion, just bounced up, dropped the leg there. Alan-Wright in serious trouble, and I think it all goes back to that moment. He had a half second, could have made a tag, but tried to push that advantage, and he's paying a steep price here against the Natural Classics.
Yeah, amazing athleticism there from the Phillips. Again, guys, their size so muscular and their height as well. Not often do we see them moving so fluently, but these two boys are focused to make sure that they are different, that they can be those heavyweight wrestlers. and still be able to do all the things that's going to keep them in an advantage in their tag team as they go to work now on Alan-Wright. And Edwin trying to keep calm there in the red corner, but eventually you know that tag's going to come.
The
And
brace.
then the advantage might swing to the other side.
It's a brace of singles matches coming up right after this. And so the lasting tag team impression wants to be left by the Natural Classics. An effortless standing moonsault. And again, to his credit, another big kick out from Alan-Wright, but just no offense being created here at all.
Yeah, the Natural Classics are really working on Alan-Wright here. He's probably glad this is the last night of the tour, because I tell you, he's going to be in a world of pain over the next few days. Jake Taylor desperately pacing like an animal, wanting to get into that ring. He wants that tag to prove a point and trying to get the crowd on Alan-Wright's side.
And certainly when we come to the first ever Oceania Cup later in the year, we still don't have exact dates nailed down yet, but Waka Waka Gino is going to see a long tournament, and it's going to require the tenacity and the endurance of everybody that's going to be involved. Are you part of this Oceania Cup? Everybody's talking about it, Gino.
Sure, I'll throw my name in it. It's like the Tri-Wizard tournament. You got to put your hat in the cup and see if your name comes out. And that wasn't a Harry Potter reference at you, Chris. I just want to say I would never do anything like that to you. But, as you scratch your for.
Okay.
But the point is,
You used to
it's going to be huge.
putting your keys in a hat rather than hats in a cup.
How dare you? This is a G-rated show. As the Natural Classics still working on Alan-Wright in that corner, and he's in a lot of trouble.
And again,
Done the smart move. Oh, that German suplex.
Yeah, just constantly. Oh my goodness, look at that. Got underneath to deliver that suplex there. Did Alan-Wright to the larger Tom, if he could just crawl past to get to the red corner, but he doesn't even know where he's at right now.
You got to turn around. Turn around and make that tag.
Oh, fingertips away. Now here we go.
Jake Taylor been on the apron for the majority of the match, and now he's going to make the Philippe's pay.
Barely had a word in this one, so he's absolutely fresh. And the huge, towering Taylor smashes into Tom, but gets rocked with a pumpkin. And again, pinballing between the Philippes.
The Philippe's found a weakness and made sure.
Oh, look at that, Tino!
Jesus!
It's the old Manabu Nakanishi trick.
Great by Jake Taylor. They're taking both men out at once. And a close call there for the Philippes.
Yeah, Taylor got rocked by those knees from the Philippes. So still a little woozy was Taylor, but smart to go for the cover first. Got a 2 before tagging in Alan-Wright. The question is whether he's recovered enough.
Alan-Wright has taken one hell of a beating tonight here in this match.
Can he turn Tom? A lot to get over, but he does.
Smart there by Stevie, able to cut it off.
Yeah, smart.
He might have just saved the day as well, as Tom was very far from any of the ropes.
The perils of being in the front row.
Someone better pay for those guardrails.
I think you're on the hook for that. Gino planted is Alan-Wright by Stevie or Tom rather. I forgot which one's what, but still the police.
Come on.
Here are your winners,
Classics.
the Natural
Coming away with a
Classics.
convincing victory.
Maybe we have to start bringing out cards for Tamashii so you can learn the wrestlers. What are those playing cards that New Japan do now? Where's my playing card?
There you go. We should be having all those big playing cards, NFTs and what have you.
That's still a thing.
Sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest scheduled for one fall with a 30-minute time limit. Introducing first.
Do you know what I don't quite get when it comes to the Rogue Army thus far? Bad Luck Fale and Jack Bonza, they seem to have a unique, it seems to make sense on paper, a similar mentality. They're both military men in approach, in mentality. And it seems Lyrebird Luchi marches to a somewhat different drum to his partners here in Rogue Army.
And this is why you will never understand professional wrestling, Chris Charlton, because there is a mindset, there is a plan.
Entering the ring at this time, representing Bullet Club and the Rogue Army, this is Lyrebird Luchi!
I don't know what that plan is, but it seems to involve Luchi. So, you just watch what happens. Watch this space, as they say, Chris Charlton, because the plan of the Rogue Army will come together.
Well, I mean, can you imagine, though? Can you imagine Lyrebird Luchi sitting down and talking politics with Bad Luck Fale and Jack Bonza?
Yes, I can.
It'd be like me trying to talk to Kevin.
You and Kevin don't talk. But Mitch Waterman, one of the premier wrestlers out of Melbourne, a man who has changed completely from what was a young tag team wrestler to now one of the best single wrestlers in Australia.
A former NCW World Heavyweight Champion, correct?
That is correct. So am I, Kevin. Your name's not Kevin.
see.
I'm just so used to yelling at Kevin.
The Freudian slip is there. I've replaced Kevin.
About to enter the ring, fighting out of the red corner. This is Melbourne's own Mitch Waterman!
The heroes welcome for Mitch Waterman as he takes on shall we say, the enigmatic Lyrebird Luchi? Is that an adjective that suits?
I'm going to be honest with you, Chris Charlton. I don't know what an adjective is, but I'm going to agree with you because it sounds smack.
Look at the adjective. Play. So typically foul-mouthed Melbourne fans.
How dare you talk bad about Melbourne? We are a strong, independent people. Well, Mitch Waterman's definitely the favourite here tonight.
They've picked their sides. I think they have. Whether that's out of distaste for Luchi or distaste for his new compatriots.
Well, look, if there's anything in Melbourne that we don't like, it's someone from Sydney. But Luchi is proving himself as a strong member of the Rogue Army. But Mitch Waterman is very tempted there to get the crowd, and he's going to do it. He's got the crowd. I'm sorry, but Luchi's not happy about it.
Well, you make a point, Gino, in terms of the Australian wrestling landscape, which I guess a lot of the fans watching here might not be so familiar with, as Lyrebird Luchi takes a powder here. Is that, as we're seeing a lot of names from Melbourne City Wrestling and obviously PWA from Sydney as well, and the other Tamashii events, is there a rivalry between those promotions, between different cities? Did guys get some reaction somewhere and not in a different town? What's that like in Australia?
I think the best way to talk about it, Sydney and Melbourne, is like talking about Tokyo and Osaka. We're talking about two cities who have their own tourist attractions, their own, hometown heroes, their own sports teams. And when they come together, it's just, let's say it's just a little bit of internal war. And right now, this feels like a battle for pride as much as it is a battle to make your mark in Tamashii.
First of 4 singles matches at the other end of the card here. Coming up after this, Aaron Solo taking on Slex the Business. And then our top 2 big main events. But Lyrebird Luchi really wanting to make a mark here, not just for himself on Tamashii, but to impress upon his new friends and partners in the Rogue Army.
Waterman showing great athleticism, but you're right, Luchi doesn't want to be the one that eats the pin tonight for the Rogue Army. He wants to prove that, yes, he is a member, he's a strong member, and he's just as good as Bad Luck Fale, they're just as good as Jack Bonza and anyone else that they choose to bring into the Rogue Army.
I mean, I'd have no arguments with Lyrebird Luchi in terms of his physical capabilities. It just seems that he's a very different character for it. And Waterman gets absolutely taken down by an impressive drop kick.
Yeah, Waterman is one hell of an athlete, and he's not going to let Lyrebird Luchi just dominate this match.
When you spent time as the Melbourne City champion, you have to tailor yourself to every different kind of opponent, Luchi included.
It's definitely something that all Melbourne City champions, both past and present, have learnt to do, to take on the best from around the world and within Australia.
And there, the low bridge takes Waterman out to the floor here.
Now Luchi with that bulldog.
But he's down across the knee for Waterman and hammering away. What a very difficult opponent to game plan for is a Lyrebird Luchi. How is Luchi? How has his reactions, his interactions with you been in that Bullet Club group chat that you're a part of, Gene?
All the group chats. I'm in multiple. House of Torture, Rogue Army. No one ever speaks to me in them though. It's a bit weird. But look, Luchi, as I said, has made himself at home within the Rogue Army, and now as he stands on the hand of Mitch Waterman, and again, a little bit of dancing for the crowd and making sure he puts his stamp of approval on it.
A little bit of dancing, a little bit of one-upsmanship, his idea of showmanship.
You tell me how this guy isn't a perfect fit for the Rogue Army.
Look at him. He's a fun-loving guy. Bad Luck Fale, I don't think it has ever encountered the word fun. Lyrebird Luchi, a little bit of a tree hugger type.
Now, let me tell you something. Bad Luck Fale is one of the most fun men you'll ever meet. Once, he even smiled.
At you?
Oh, no, definitely not at me. No, hates me. But that's not to say that these two men here don't have a point to prove it. And look at that Waterman.
Waterman using that quickness. Luchi, to his credit, and wrestling a smart game. And now, look, the feet on the ropes, but not going to steal a victory that easily.
Our referee able to see that very quickly. And that few seconds may have given Waterman enough time to recover there. But again, Lyrebird Luchi doing his best to think of his A game here to make sure that Waterman's put away.
It's only a victory over former MCW champion here. It elevates Lyrebird Luchi well up the ranks, and Buddy Matthews right now, the current MCW champion, probably puts Luchi perhaps in line for a future opportunity against them.
Oh, absolutely, and that's going to be on his mind as well. Again, he's just taking liberties with Mitch Waterman here, and that might not be the smartest move, though. Waterman's definitely someone who is often seen as, I would say, underrated, and someone that maybe Luchi might not think is a formidable opponent, but Waterman will make him pay if he makes a mistake.
Yeah, Luchi here almost was paintbrushing, not so much ground and pound there as humiliating the guy with those feather strikes, and now, though, a more punishing cravat.
And again, Waterman trying as Luchi just works that crowd and tells him, hey, you know what, you don't like me, I don't care.
That's what you tell most rooms you're in before you go home to cry yourself to sleep, I think.
How dare you. And Waterman trying his hardest here, but still he's stuck on that mat, and Luchi is making sure that that's where he stays. He doesn't want Waterman up and about because, again, he can take advantage of the small mistake that Luchi makes. But he's trying to get that crowd behind him, and Luchi just wants to hold him down if he can.
And that cravat, so underrated as an effective hold to keep your opponent in place, but a nice escape from Waterman. And now, that's the kind of strikes that Luchi decided to pull, and Waterman punishing. Lyrebird Luchi now creates distance, closed so effectively by Lyrebird.
Lyrebird Luchi absolutely on point there, but Waterman now makes him pay for that one as well. Again, these guys are so equally matched. And you're right, it might just prove that Luchi deserves a shot at the title in the future.
Striking in combination is Waterman and a sling blade. A little bit of a taste of Japan coming to Melbourne here tonight. Waterman with the sling blade to Luchi.
Waterman just taking the time to recover. He sure did take a fair bit of punishment early on in this match.
Oh, jeez, Luchi just dropped face first by Waterman, and now, no, the other way, a jackknife too.
And a close call there.
And now both thumbs, I think, in the eyes. And Waterman responding in kind. That would never be allowed to happen with your pal in the zebra there.
Edwin would have allowed that. Absolutely not.
Well, neither man can see one another right now. Navigating by feel. Waterman instinctive too. Huge super kicks ringing off the skull of Lyrebird Luchi. And he's not going to be safe on the floor here, Gino.
Waterman is going to fly.
Slingshots off, drops Luchi with a cutter. That is why he was the MCW champion, but still Luchi able to kick out at 2.5.
A close call for Lyrebird Luchi. I got to say, Chris, this has been a very equal match. I thought Lyrebird Luchi did have the upper hand early on, keeping Waterman on that mat. But now Waterman's come out with some explosive speed and was able to fight back hard.
As Waterman pulls himself up to his feet. Luchi begging off here. No mercy with that back fist.
Oh, Jesus. That spinning back fist by Waterman should have ended Luchi, but he was able to get his foot up at that last moment Luchi being smart and rolling out the ring. Waterman disappointed, but he understands that he might just have to do that little bit more to put this match away.
And that shows, doesn't it, Gino, the situational environmental awareness of a Lyrebird Luchi to know where those ropes were. And knew where that chair was as well.
What the hell? I mean, I love it, but what the hell?
And in full view of the referee, that is it. We were in the middle of an unpredictable encounter.
Here is a winner as a result of a disqualification, Mitch Waterman.
But in full view of the referee, a steel chair to the face of Mitch Waterman, and now more fists pounding away. This is a very untree hugger-esque maneuver from Lyrebird Luchi. Perhaps you are right. Perhaps he does belong in the Rogue Army.
And you doubted the man. How dare you, Chris? I mean, it's not a win, but it's a result, and you know I love a good result.
Certainly a disappointing result when it comes to these great fans in Thornbury who are getting well behind what was a hard-fought match for Mitch Waterman and Lyrebird Luchi, cut short thanks to that steel chair.
I mean, it's a smart move at the end of the day. Lyrebird Luchi felt threatened and thought that he didn't have control of the match and ended it the way he wanted to.
Now, Mitch Waterman will get his hand raised, such as it is, but there will be plenty more payback to come from that one.
The following contest is a singles match scheduled for one fall with a 30-minute time limit. Introducing first.
Now, let me just say, we are in for a treat here, Chris Charlton.
Aaron Solo
entering the ring at this time and fighting out of the blue corner, representing the factory, ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Solo!
The AEW fans, as well as fans of NJPW Strong, might be familiar with Aaron Solo for his work as part of the factory, but a New Zealand Dojo graduate.
And his opponent.
And this is going to be a rematch from Southern Showdown all the way back in 2019 when it comes to Slex, the business.
You put some respect on that name, Chris Charlton. The business Slex has spent a majority of his career being one of the top wrestlers, not only in Australia but in the world. A lot of time spent in Japan in Noah under the Team DK banner. Recently returned from a small stint with ROH as well. And let's just say that this man has rockets strapped to his boots.
So one of the most popular men in Melbourne is Slex the business. It doesn't seem to matter what's happening anywhere around the world. Business always seems to be booming.
Well, it's booming here tonight in Thornbury. Look at the shape this man's in.
Always put together is Slex. Has wrestled the likes of Kazuchika Okada in Melbourne in the past.
Entering the ring at this time, fighting out of the red corner, he is a former multi-time Australian champion. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the business. This is Slex!
A man with a long history and a very prestige pedigree when it comes to professional wrestling in Australia.
This is going to be an interesting one to look at. Obviously, Aaron Solo is representing the interests of the factory, and QT Marshall, who is thankfully not here in Thornbury tonight. But meanwhile, I think Slex, Gino, is still such a mainstay for Australian wrestling, but his big breakout when business was about to be taken worldwide, as you alluded to with that stint in Ring of Honor, that was right as the pandemic was hitting, and perhaps timing didn't quite work out for him. A brief spell in Noah, but here a chance in Tamashii to once again be on the worldwide stage.
Absolutely, and you got to think when you're ticking off those lists as a professional wrestler, Ring of Honor, tick. Noah, tick. New Japan, tick. Okada, tick. That's some pretty big boots to fill, and Aaron Solo might just feel that pressure. I mean, let's be honest, Aaron Solo's no stranger himself to success, but you're in Slex's backyard.
Certainly Solo from the QT Marshall School of Charm as he ties up with the experienced Slex.
A nice arm drag there by Slex to start things off.
Really, for months over on New Japan Strong, it was the factory that seemed to make it a mission to stamp their mark really all over the LA dojo. And Aaron Solo, though, a graduate of the Fale system, do you know?
Yeah, he's absolutely spread his wings when it comes to learning how to be the top professional wrestler, and it's paid off for him. But each man is representing not only their dojos, but as well as their reputation here tonight. This is a match that will be watched with interest by many promotions around the world, as Aaron Solo there with a nice headlock takedown on Slex.
Come on, let's hear it. Fletcher. Come on, Slex. What do you say? Come on.
And to speak to some of those achievements, Slex, another former MCW World Heavyweight Champion. And can you speak, Gino, just to the significance that Slex has in his career, especially when it comes to Melbourne and the reaction he gets from these fans?
Well, the best way I can put it is that he is the golden child of wrestling in Melbourne. A man who started at such a young age, has been wrestling now for over 20 years professionally. You see it right there as he drops Solo right on his head. The man has absolutely been what we would call the mainstayer, the one that we can always count on, and he has also just improved immensely. He's always been one of the top wrestlers, even when he was 16, 17 years old. He was wrestling in other states in main events, but as the business grew, he grew with it, and now he's on top of that food chain and always has been.
We can Solo think about it here. Cliche with a blood rush into the head.
And he's really holding on to it, isn't he, Chris?
The fans up to 20.
He's going to stay here forever.
30 seconds. Solo finally dropped down. Gino, not that I don't think anybody has been able to hold you over their head for 30 seconds, but what does that do to you to have all the blood rush into your head for a full half minute?
It just absolutely messes with your coordination and your brain. Not only are you getting slammed into the mat hard, but you're also dizzy as, well, I'm not going to say that word, Chris, but oh my God, Slex just fell on the back of his head on that turnbuckle there. Aaron Solo just desperation move, pulled the legs underneath Slex, sending him head first into that turnbuckle. That was awful.
And now following up with impunity in those closed fists.
Solo showing a bit of ruthlessness there. He didn't care what happened to Slex. He just wanted the advantage.
Well, that's the mentality that comes from the people that he runs with in the factory. But Solo, to his credit, as we've said, had spent that time in the New Zealand dojo, had spent that time really all over the world, and a well-versed individual and taking as much as he can from every environment he's in. And we've seen that work to his success, be that on the AEW programming or be it in New Japan.
Yeah, both men definitely have such an arsenal in the pocket when it comes to professional wrestling and being able to take on the world's best. And right here, this is a treat for the Tamashii fans.
Nice sunset flip from Slex there. And again, larger man, but bringing athletic offense, but cut off by the kitchen sink there from Solo.
Solo has this absolute ability to just stop momentum dead in its tracks. Slex seemed to be on a roll there, but again, that kitchen sink from Solo absolutely crushing the solar plexus of Slex.
Oh my goodness, boys. Well, just what a pleasant experience for perhaps our camera staff over there.
Yeah, look, it was a little bit gross, Chris, I won't lie, but
certainly a win would mean so much for Aaron Solo at this standpoint. Perhaps a man, Gino, who's gotten a reputation as a journeyman across the United States and Australia and Oceania. Not that that's a bad thing at all, but you get a win over a competitor like Slex, and that puts you in the top flight in the business, both down under and, well, up above.
I liked your little pun there, in the business. You're absolutely right. A win over Slex here can absolutely skyrocket Aaron Solo to the top of the standings. You got to remember, Slex is a former world heavyweight champion here in Australia. That is a big deal. He has also wrestled in Noah. Like I said earlier, it's important to understand what a win for Aaron Solo would mean to if he was able to, and that's the problem. We've seen a really competitive match so far, but if he was able to get the win for Slex, it would mean a lot for him.
Yeah, Aaron Solo right in that line, a large junior heavyweight, but in that junior heavyweight sort of field, and with Best of the Super Juniors coming up in May, you could probably certainly see Aaron Solo in that mix should he defeat Slex and absolutely stun the business there with a shot across
Slex
the jaw.
Wants a back. Have a look. He's come firing back and he dropped him again. Neither man willing to give it an inch here, Chris.
Yeah, they're certainly trading, but Slex has that advantage when it comes to striking power. Verse down the other way, and there the collision. I think both guys had that in mind from the off, but a little bit of misdirection, and now both left reeling.
Yeah, both men with the crossbody in mind for the other. Meet in the middle, though. That's knocked the wind out of both of them as our referee starts the count. That took a lot out of Aaron Solo and Slex. You can see both men still on the ground trying to suck in that air.
I'd have to assume it took more out of Solo than it did Slex, given Slex's size advantage. And there you see it, directed into the corner. Business starting to pick up.
Oh, Slex. And that's why he's the business, Chris. Incredible athleticism by Slex there. And now Solo's probably in a dangerous position. He doesn't even know it yet.
Well, yeah, you might be right. Tope Suicida. Crowd in the front row in a dangerous position as well.
Well, they've got their money's worth tonight, that's for sure.
Now, nothing's stopping the business, and, well, we can't cash in our stocks just yet when it comes to this match.
Slex showing incredible speed and athleticism there. Able to do an incredible dive out to Aaron Solo on the floor and came back in. That clothesline almost being able to finish it off there. And Solo now, that momentum's shifted back to Slex's favour.
Solo hoisted up on the shoulders here knows that's a big time issue for him. Now rolling up, gets 2 out of Slex to Solo.
Now Slex with a backslide himself. 1, 2. And a close call for Solo. And Slex just collects it with that kick.
It's Solo firing right back. One of his own.
Slex gets Solo up again on the shoulder with such ease.
What he was looking for earlier. Goodness. Slex executed was Solo. That's it. And no.
Slex had a finish in mind there and then. He thought it was over, but Solo able to kick out at that last second and keep this match alive.
Slex, for his own part, a mainstay in the Melbourne scene for so long. A victory here would certainly catapult him into a spot in the Oceania Cup coming up later this year.
Solo trying to fight back. He's just driving his body into that corner and just getting Slex off his back. But Slex, like a monkey, just holding on.
Oh, no!
Jesus.
Wanted one more time to take Solo's head off, but it was the thrust kick out of midair. Now Solo getting moving here up to the top.
Solo with this last-ditch effort. If he can hit this, he might have an opportunity to finish it off as he double stomps right in the middle of the chest.
Stomped a hole through Slex. It's Solo.
That was a close to Slex taking the brunt of the punishment there. We saw him go for that middle rope move earlier, but Solo just sort of saw it coming and threw that thrust kick, and all of a sudden now Solo's looking to take advantage of everything he can.
Aaron Solo came just short against Robbie Eagles one night ago in Sydney, but if he hooks it, he's going for that pedigree, Gino, that he's used before. Got dropped down, jackknife. Not quite. Solo used a pedigree to get a win in Tamashii 2. And this time nailed it. Well, there you go.
That's absolutely shocked the crowd. Chris.
Here's your winner, Aaron Solo.
Pedigree again paying off for Solo.
You'd have to say, with Solo, as much as his reputation worldwide is admirable, given Slex's status in Australia, I think everybody in Melbourne, Gino, considering this quite an upset.
Yeah, an incredible upset. Slex is what we would call probably a blue chipper, someone that would absolutely have no problem against half the roster in New Japan. And Aaron Solo's come in and proven that he is a name to be reckoned with. That in Tamashii, he has an opportunity now to be one of the top guys.
The following contest, scheduled for one fall with a 30-minute time limit. Introducing first.
Well, it's time for the first half of a double main event, and an awful lot of ins and outs to this one as Carl Fletcher representing the United Empire. But yes, this is, Gino, United Empire versus Chaos, but more than that, this is a teacher versus student vibe in our semi-final here tonight.
Yeah, an incredible backstory to this, where Robbie Eagles saw a young Carl Fletcher and saw the absolute talent that he had just in the tryouts and training for PWA.
At this time, representing the United Empire, he is one half of Aussie Open, Carl Fletcher!
And took him under his wing and said, you know, one day we could make this, we could be somewhere. And sure enough, both of them have made their own path in their own right. And now it culminates to this match here tonight in Melbourne.
Finalists in World Tag League were Aussie Open, and both entered into New Japan Cup. This will be a big boost to Carl Fletcher's spirits heading into the New Japan Cup if he can beat his mentor and trainer here tonight. But let's, the floor is yours, Gino, to talk about all the great things Robbie Eagles has done for Australian professional wrestling, and what a phenomenal wrestler, athlete, trainer, and of course, loyal member of Chaos that Robbie Eagles is.
How dare you? Let's talk about all the great things I've done before this little twerp came along. I'm going to say that I'm the one who created this. I'm the one who's opened the door for Robbie Eagles to be the light junior heavyweight champion of New Japan. What about me? Where's my title shot, Bruce?
I'm sorry, Gino. I didn't quite know that you took your junior heavyweight spot in New Japan Pro Wrestling was
How
taken by
dare you?
Robbie.
He did. And that's why I put on weight. I was so depressed. I just ate my feelings.
Entering the ring at this time, representing Chaos, he is a former New Japan Pro Wrestling Junior Heavyweight Champion. He is Robbie Eagles!
With so many accolades, his entrance takes too long, Chris.
I like
How
to
much more do we have to say?
Is he he might be a sightseeing ambassador. Who's the sightseeing ambassador for Wagga Wagga? We could put that
It
on
could be me.
Toriano's list.
I'm going to start making curries as well and getting rid of bears. He got rid of a bear, Rihanna, right? That's what he did in that
Yeah,
village.
he keeps it in check. What's the bear situation in Wagga Wagga? I bet there's some terrifying spiders there.
There's a lot of drop bears. We'll talk about that later.
Oh no.
But this match here,
Changed my mind. I don't want to go.
this match here could be a main event anywhere in the world, and you were lucky enough to have it here at New Japan Tamashii, here in Melbourne. I think this is going to be incredible. Even Siri thinks so, Chris.
Good serious on our back. Alexa's here chipping in, the perils of home recording.
And there is a large size discrepancy between the two. But again, this is the problem. Everyone underestimates Robbie Eagles because of his size. And before they know it, they're in trouble. So it'll be interesting to see if Kyle Fletcher takes the advantage here. And a lot of words being exchanged by the two men. A lot of history, as we said. And Kyle Fletcher's got something to prove.
Okay, you speak to Kyle Fletcher's size. A lot of that size being put on in the last few years. The advantage, if we've seen Aussie Open in Rev Pro or in Australia, you've seen how Duncilla Davis as well, but especially Kyle Fletcher has just grown literally in front of our eyes, over the last couple of years.
It's been an incredible transformation for both the men in Aussie Open. But Kyle Fletcher here tonight is really going to have to use everything he can to his advantage, because Robbie Eagles does have a lot of experience and a lot of time spent in that New Japan ring, where Kyle Fletcher's, as much as he's made his mark around the world, especially in the UK, right now he's facing an opponent that I guess he hasn't in a very long time. Kyle Fletcher there just using his size to ragdoll Robbie Eagles around. But again, I've made the mistake of upsetting Robbie Eagles in a match, and I've paid for it dearly. So Kyle Fletcher now has to take control his emotions and his feelings towards Robbie Eagles, and prove why now he's in the New Japan Cup. Prove now why he's a name in New Japan.
And certainly perhaps show Robbie Eagles how much he has bettered himself in that time away. That Eagles part of Kyle Fletcher very early on in his career, before Fletcher took himself over to the UK, and it was him and Mark Davis didn't get together until they were in the UK, and then they were sort of lumped together as the Australian team, and then became something so much greater over the last few years or so before really breaking out in 2022. And this is a chance for Kyle Fletcher to perhaps break out, not just as a tag team wrestler, but as a singles wrestler as well.
That's the funny thing about wrestlers in Australia. At home, we know what great talent is. We used to see guys like Kyle Fletcher, Robbie Eagles, Mark Davis, and think, geez, these guys are incredible. How are they not on the main stage? It took a long time for that cover to be, taken off, and the realization that there is this great talent in Australia. And now we're leading to things like New Japan Tamashii, where we're having homegrown talent in this match. As I said, could be a main event anywhere in the world.
No doubt, Robbie Eagles, of course, the first Australian IWGP champion, IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champion as well. And well, it should have been. You just missed the weight cut for Best of the Super Juniors that year.
And Kyle Fletcher again did the trash talk and proving to Robbie Eagles. But look at the speed on Robbie Eagles again. That's what I'm saying. Carl Fletcher has to control his emotions here as Robbie Eagles sends him flying.
Beautiful to Harris, and now Robbie Eagles getting going. And Robbie Eagles, I think a little bit, Gino, of feeling somewhat snubbed in recent weeks, that it was not him but Leo Rush that got off that first challenge to Hiromu Takahashi for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. So Leo Rush versus Hiromu, March 21st. The finals of the New Japan Cup will be there live in English on New Japan World. And I think Robbie Eagles feeling a little bit unsatisfied and a little bit upset at the Chaos group chat. It's not like the Bullet Club group chat, is it, Gino?
No, it's not like the Bullet Club group chat, but let's be honest, Robbie Eagles loves to be the underdog. He loves to be someone who you sit there and think isn't worthy of a shot or isn't worthy of another title shot, because that fuels him. And then all of a sudden we get a better Robbie Eagles, a growing Robbie Eagles, and that's what we want to see. As Carl Fletcher just before, as we were speaking, Chris just issued one hell of a shotgun chop, and that's something that Aussie Open's well known for, and Robbie Eagles is going to pay for that. You can already see it in his face.
When you're used to, as Carl Fletcher is, wrestling day in, day out in different countries all over the world as a tag team wrestler, and there's another heavy shotgun chop there from Carl Fletcher. What might be creeping into his mind at this point? He seems to be in control, but is this going to become a factor later on where he doesn't have that man in his corner to reach out to?
Look, it can be a factor. Going from a tag team to a singles is a major change. We saw it with GOD. We've seen it with Chase Owens and Tox Fale. They have completely different styles when it comes to tag team and singles wrestling. But Carl Fletcher has been a decorated singles wrestler as well before his time in the UK. So he will still have that feeling. Again, I think it's more the emotion that he has to control as Robbie's about to go over the top.
And tight did Robbie Eagles land. Took a little bit out of Eagles, took more out of Carl Fletcher.
Robbie's now going to pick apart all the weaknesses he believes Carl Fletcher has. As I said, this is the man that trained him. He's aware of everything about him, inside and out. So Robbie will use that to his advantage. So Carl has to do his best to try and finish this quickly if he can. Before we saw a bit of a cocky pin where he leant and kneeled down on Robbie's chest to try and get that pin, and that's not the way he's going to win it.
Well, this might be, though.
The back of the head of Robbie bouncing off the side of that apron.
Just dumped was Robbie Eagles. And this isn't the image I think that Eagles had in mind heading into this match. Carl Fletcher standing tall over his teacher here. There goes the bandana, Gino.
Yeah, well, the famous bandana of Robbie Eagles is now in the front row, but Carl Fletcher seems to be enjoying torturing him.
And there's through lines as well. Carl Fletcher, of course, being noticed, being scouted, being recruited into United Empire by a Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay and Robbie Eagles at one time were partners. It was Will Ospreay that brought Robbie Eagles into Chaos. And then it seemed like we had a great tag team on our hands in Robbie Eagles and Will Ospreay until Ospreay decided to break out and form the United Empire.
And what a devastating grip they really have been as Carl Fletcher drives those elbows into the corner and into Robbie's face. But yet United Empire stands on their own. We've seen a lot of breakout groups, just four guys, and all of a sudden we're seeing new groups and new factions, but United Empire is standing on top at the moment.
I hear they were considering you for the fifth member of Just Four Guys.
I am the fifth man of Just Four Guys. I promise you that much. If they get tracksuits, I want one.
But Carl Fletcher wrestling a smart game here, certainly well beyond his years in the ring, as his controlling Robbie Eagles, using his size to his advantage. And you have to believe that Eagles at some point is going to go to those long legs of Carl Fletcher if he can, but Fletcher not letting him. Oh, there he goes, though.
Look at that roll up. He's using his leverage there and look straight back to the legs like you said, Chris.
Fletcher keeping control, rolls through. Look at this now. Sit out, powerbomb, 2 and not quite.
What an easy night it would have been for Carl Fletcher if he could get the win there. But Robbie, again, using that experience and determination to kick out.
I think any crowd, it seems, across the country is going to be behind Robbie Eagles if they have a choice.
Well, Robbie Eagles definitely can be a crowd favourite, and Cole just tossed him down. Jeez, with no care at all.
Exactly, no regard for Eagles, and not a pleasant landing at all for the sniper.
This is exactly what I was saying, Chris. Kyle Fletcher is letting his emotions as he does it again, but he's letting his emotions get the best of him. He's just doing whatever he wants, but it's not executing a game plan. He's just trying to hurt Robbie Eagles. He's trying to prove a point. He's upsetting the crowd. He doesn't care, but that's not going to get you the win.
Maybe not, but or maybe this is what he wants. He wants this clip of him taking charge, but now, like you said, went to the well one too many times. Eagles out the back door here, tries to make motion, clips the leg, and there we go, to the back of the head. Now Robbie Eagles starting
10 minutes
to put those moves together, striking combination, but a lot of damage having been done on the back end by the Aussie Arrow.
Yeah, Robbie Eagles there. He's going to spend as much time as he can recovering from, I guess you can call it the beating that he's taken from Kyle Fletcher, and he will use all the time in the ropes and sucking that air. But the truth of the matter is Kyle Fletcher's done some severe damage. You can see Robbie struggling even to stand without the use of the ropes. But now he's going to make Kyle Fletcher pay with those kicks. Jesus, Chris.
Heavy mid kick. Robbie Eagles, one of the most powerful strikers in the junior heavyweight division. And all of that height advantage now from Kyle Fletcher absolutely eliminated. Fletcher out to the floor, will not be safe. Keep your eyes on Robbie Eagles, and yeah, clear out the front row. This is going to be dangerous here.
Well, he warned him. He definitely warned him, Chris. He told the front row to clear, and he's ended up all the way in the second row.
Well, they love it nonetheless.
The crowd absolutely loving Robbie Eagles fighting back against Kyle Fletcher here. Kyle Fletcher almost looks dead, laying down the guardrails.
I think our guardrails
We've lost our deposit, Chris, no doubt.
No doubt about it. Completely destroyed. It's a good thing we aren't out here at ringside. We'd be right in the heat spot, I imagine.
Now Robbie Eagles has got the momentum. And that double knees right into the chest of Kyle Fletcher. Oh, geez, he makes him eat his boot. But Robbie's still standing.
Clips the Lee, and now we're here. Fletcher at the full mercy of Robbie Eagles, now executing the game plan, Gino, that Fletcher perhaps wasn't interested in early on.
Yeah, I wouldn't see Fletcher just had this plan that, well, I'm just going to throw Robbie Eagles around. I'm just going to hurt him. And now Robbie Eagles has gone, that's not the way it's going to happen here, mate. And he's focusing solely on that left leg. And we've seen it pay off for him before.
Yeah, those long legs as well, that height advantage that Kyle Fletcher has completely eliminated. Was thinking either figure four or the Ron Miller, but booted away. And still Robbie Eagles, tenacious and single-minded in his assault of the left leg and the left knee.
Yeah, look, you can be 7 foot, 8 foot if you want to be, but when you're lying on your back, it means nothing. Kyle Fletcher trying to fight back, but can hardly stand at this point.
Look at this. We'll take out the leg again. No.
Great combination by Robbie.
Oh, but look at this from Fletcher. My goodness. Snapdragon. The half and half just stumped Robbie Eagles.
Absolutely drove Robbie Eagles head first into the middle of that apron. Or ring, sorry. It's just been one hell of a match so far. We've seen some incredible action here, Chris Charlton, but I tell you, I don't even know which way it's going to go. It seems like Kyle Fletcher's probably got his motivation back to go back to a game plan as he tries to adjust that knee that Robbie Eagles has been focusing on.
You're just trying to pound something into that knee, pound some feeling in, and then risking the leg as he boots Eagles in the face.
Eagles trying to change his center of gravity as he knees Kyle Fletcher right in the face.
Yeah, and that sense, that change in equilibrium, Fletcher doesn't have enough of a base there. Enzi connects, and Robbie Eagles getting way, way up high to knock Fletcher down to his backside.
Kyle Fletcher took it right on the back of the head as well. Robbie Eagles doing his best to get nice and high to the tall Kyle Fletcher. Again, his height advantage hasn't played much in this match here because Robbie's made sure it couldn't.
Going up to the high rent district here. That's a long, long way down. Doesn't matter how tall you are.
Kyle might have saved himself there, but Robbie straight back up.
Look at Fletcher now.
No,
Oh my goodness. The lighting rig, everything else taking a pounding as Kyle Fletcher just landed some sort of body slam Michinoku driver off the top rope, and Eagles just barely getting his foot on the bottom rope. The barest of escapes for Robbie Eagles, who now seeks salvation on the floor.
And again, that's that experience I was talking about, Chris. Robbie Eagles was smart enough to get out of danger by rolling out of the ring. He'll take all the time he can to recover. And now he's out of danger as well. There's no chance of him getting pinned. There's no chance of Kyle Fletcher inside the ring trying to do another maneuver that's going to send him, into trouble again. So Kyle Fletcher taking some space. Robbie Eagles outside. It is smart wrestling.
And Fletcher perhaps smart in not pursuing Robbie Eagles, but taking his own time to rest his knee. At the same time, Gino, we might say that the biggest mistake that cost Kyle Fletcher this match was not repositioning Robbie Eagles after that move off the top rope. So near was he to that rope break.
I think Kyle Fletcher was just happy to be in the up position that he was in. I think he knew that he had Robbie Eagles, but Robbie Eagles, again, using that experience and was smart enough to get as close to that bottom rope as possible to break that pin.
Well, Kyle Fletcher will take this by a count out.
The crowd getting behind Robbie, trying to egg him on to back into the ring. This match, they want it to continue, Chris.
We want to win it one way or the other. We don't want this to end by a count out, but it very well might. Robbie Eagles doesn't know which way is up right now. Now finally makes it into the bottom rope. Kyle Fletcher right away. Here we go. Oh my goodness, just dropped him head first. Here we go to no again. Robbie Eagles just barely kicking out, and Kyle Fletcher left at a loss here as to what he needs to do to beat the Sniper of the Skies.
How did Robbie Eagles kick out of that? Kyle Fletcher smart enough to get right onto Robbie as he re-entered the ring and dropped him square on the top of his head. And somehow Robbie Eagles stays alive.
Robbie Eagles competing in his second singles match in 2 nights. After a war with Aaron Solo in Sydney, now pummeled pillar to post by Kyle Fletcher, who takes aim and delivers
wow.
a brutal boot to the side of Eagles' head. And here we go, looking to stretch, submit. Eagles know who escapes.
Oh, the close call there, but look at Robbie. Straight back to the legs, Chris.
There we go, the Ron Miller special. Fletcher knows how dangerous, how painful that hold is. The moment it was locked in, scrambling for the ropes and using his large frame to cut that distance to the bottom strand.
Kyle Fletcher finally having his height come to his advantage as he rapidly grabbed that bottom rope and was able to break that hold very quickly. But you're so spot on, Chris. That Ron Miller special has put away some of the best in this world, and Robbie Eagles had him for that split moment. But again, Robbie has taken some punishment as he was about to lay in that second kick to Kyle Fletcher. He collapsed under his own weight.
I can only imagine that Robbie Eagles seeing spots right now is left dizzy after his own kick. It's
This
still,
match has taken so much out of both men, Chris.
it's still teacher standing tall above student right now.
Robbie almost trying to tune up the band, Chris. Ah, Fletcher catches him.
Yet they won't play that tune just yet.
Big elbow by Kyle.
Kyle had the leg of Robbie Eagles, chose to dispose of it for this. This goes back to what we were saying, Gino. It's not necessarily about a game plan for Kyle Fletcher. He wants to show his teacher just how much stronger he's become, how much more of a man, how much more of a killer instinct that he has since he was a teenager in the days in PWA.
Both men just trading solid blows. So much emotion and history behind each shot.
And they're still going, and the Crockston on their feet.
20 minutes.
Oh my God, what a shot.
Oh, and another one.
Oh, and now it's a different mentor. The elbow pad removed. I thought Fletcher was going for hidden blade, but it was a round kick off the chest.
Jeez.
Cracks him. Half and half again. No.
Oh,
This time.
dropped
That
him
time.
high.
Yeah, that time got it. Rings up the arm, back the other way. Could be thinking. No, poison runner. Kyle Fletcher was thinking perhaps of that Grimstone pile driver. Got turned around with a poison runner by Eagles. Here we go.
Oh, he's still alive.
Back up, not for long.
Turbo
Turbo,
backpack.
the turbo backpack. And now, nowhere to go for Kyle Fletcher. Slap bang in the middle. He made it to the ropes fast before. Now he's got no means of escape. Trapped dead center with that Ron Miller special.
The crowd trying to get Kyle Fletcher to tap. The Ron Miller special locked in the middle of the ring. Robbie Eagles had an onslaught of moves there for Kyle Fletcher. Oh, he's about to tap. He's going to do it, Chris.
The will for Kyle Fletcher to survive. His mentor now makes the rope and the frustration etched on the face of Robbie Eagles.
How does he do it, Chris? It seemed like it was all over, the hand in the air. I thought the tap was coming, but Kyle Fletcher made it right to that bottom rope. Robbie Eagles looking around in disbelief, and I think he's going to pick a corner. I think he wants to end this right now.
It all comes down to the game plan, Gino. And the game plan, as soon as that first hit was made on the leg, was to hit this 450. And now calculating the distance, calculating the height he has, can he hit it across the leg of Kyle Fletcher here? And he went for it, but no, Fletcher escaping.
Oh, right under the chin of Eagles.
Another pulse drop, no, caught, Gino. Grimstone again, no, escaped.
Oh, Jesus.
And now he got it, Grimstone. The Grimstone pile driver, and Kyle Fletcher has, no, he's not done it.
He did it, Chris. Robbie Eagles Kicks out at 2. Maybe 2 3/4. Jesus.
It was as near to 3 as Robbie Eagles could have gotten.
Carl Fletcher must have believed he had it won right there and then. The count was fair. Robbie Eagles was just that good, able to kick out right at the last moment.
The chance of this is awesome for our crowd here in Melbourne. You would have to agree with them. And now again, Fletcher again with that knee. And now this time, hoists him. And the second time, the Greenstone pile driver. And this time it is over. And Carl Fletcher has defeated Robbie Eagles here at Tamashii.
What an incredible moment.
Here's your winner, Carl Fletcher!
For the young Carl Fletcher, and what an incredible moment as the Melbourne fans come to their feet. And how can you not, Chris? Get up, stand up and clap.
The arena here in the Croxton, bathed in green for Aussie opener for the United Empire. What a huge, huge win in the career of Carl Fletcher, who will now go on with prospects of Yoshihashi in the first round of the New Japan Cup, having scored a decisive, emphatic, and most of all, personally important victory over Chaos here in our semi-main event.
If you didn't believe that New Japan Tamashii was going to be one hell of a spectacle, this match right here has proven it all to be exactly what it was going to be. An incredible match, an incredible moment to be part of. The crowd's still on their feet applauding these two men, but what a win for the young Carl Fletcher over his mentor, Robbie Eagles.
And now, what for Carl Fletcher?
Well, no handshake, no hug. Just a win for Carl Fletcher.
The picture saying 1,000 words of Carl Fletcher pointing to his head and saying, at the end of the day, I had more than you. Congratulations, Carl Fletcher, in our semi-final here in Tamashii, and there's one more to go. Caveman Ugg against Aaron Henare.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the main event of our evening. The following contest, scheduled for one fall, is with a 30-minute time limit. Introducing
once
first,
again, another United Empire member in our main event here tonight. But while before Gino with Robbie Eagles and Carl Fletcher, it was an athletic battle of determination and history. No history between Aaron Henare and Caveman Ugg, but if you're a big fan of meaty men slapping meat, then we have got the match for you in our main event.
Well, I think you underestimate Caveman Ugg, to be honest, Chris. For a guy his size, he is incredibly agile.
entering the ring at this time, competing out of the blue corner, representing United Empire, this is Aaron Henare!
As Henare reveals to be draped in an Aboriginal flag and showing respect to the Indigenous people of this land.
Certainly something very, very important to Aaron Henare, Gino, and I do apologize for respect, of course, for Aaron Henare for his historical heritage.
And his opponent,
Well, let me just say that Caveman Ugg has always been underrated as a heavyweight. He is incredibly athletic, and I think you're going to be surprised in how quick and how agile the man is for his size.
Caveman Ugg seems to be another man, Gino, much like Slex, part of the Australian fabric for a long time, and a great reputation within, well, specifically Melbourne, but Australia at large.
Yeah, an incredible wrestler that started his wrestling story, I guess, with PWA in Sydney. Moved to Melbourne knowing that the opportunity was there, and even spent a little bit of time at the Fale Dojo as well. So The man has
Entering the
spent
ring
a lot of time in that
and
ring and in between
fighting
those
out
ropes.
of the red corner, he is a former Australian heavyweight champion. This is Caveman
Aaron Henare as well, of course. We always talk about Henare's history initially in the New Zealand dojo. So that common history there, and Henare is so determined to be a part of Tamashii. Was wrestling on the New Beginning tour. Took 2 days to fly to Australia and then immediately went right back on the plane from here, going straight back on the plane to complete the tour for New Beginning heading into Osaka. So you can never fault the intense work ethic of Aaron Henare.
If there's anything Aaron Henare has, it is work ethic and determination. The man will always step up to a challenge, and the challenge in front of him right now is Caveman Ugg. The crowd more on Ugg's side here as he's the hometown favourite.
Certainly, I don't think that typically tends to bother an Aaron Henare, who's more interested in picking up big singles wins and picking them up fast. Henare, another entrant into the New Japan Cup, will be facing Shingo Takagi. And that's a match, Gino, that Takagi and Henare wrestled a few years ago. Well, Henare was still a part of Hontai, and it really turned around. Henare's fortunes turned around. His mental ideology made him a lot more focused. And you're going to see that against Caveman Ugg, shooting underneath there.
Well, this is a great warm-up for Henare. If he can get some, some travel in and some ring rust off by wrestling Caveman Ugg, trying to throw around a bigger guy, very similar to Shingo. It's a great opportunity for him to trial and error a couple of things, but you got to remember, Caveman Ugg's here to win. So not only does he need to try and keep himself uninjured and unaffected by Caveman Ugg, he's got to try and beat him as well.
Saw Aaron Solo earlier on tonight get a somewhat of an upset victory over an established figure in Slex. The business as Caveman Ugg carries Henare all the way down here. And a victory for Caveman Ugg over someone established on the New Japan roster will certainly turn a lot of heads, especially when it comes to that Oceania Cup in Wagga Wagga coming up in a couple of months.
I think you just like saying Wagga Wagga, Chris.
I just like as many chances as I can. I want to go to Wagga Wagga, Gino. I'm not a big fan of the drop pairs, though. I don't even know what they are, but I don't want to see them.
I'll tell you later. Henare was able to lay in some shots there to the body of Caveman Ugg. And with a big shoulder thrust of his own, sending Ugg into the ropes.
It's not
and
often.
again, he's going to unleash those shots to that body. We all know about the fighting styles and training that Henare has in Muay Thai, MMA, kickboxing. There's a lot that he can teach Caveman Ugg if only Ugg could see the light of the United Empire.
Look at that now. Yeah, and it was using that Muay Thai to his advantage. That back elbow followed by that springboard kick by Aaron Henare. And certainly Henare not typically used to being the smaller man in a matchup, but having to lean on that martial arts background. In Henare as well, that's really part of why the United Empire was such a great place for Henare to fit. He's in that unit with an Olympian amateur wrestler in Jeff Cobb, with a man like Great Okan, who's a world champion in 30 different disciplines, and a Hirosaito senton down across the chest of Caveman Ugg, as Ugg has to take a powder to the floor, and that is not a particularly common sight, you would have to think.
No, absolutely not. Ugg is not one to shy away from a fight, and I don't think he's doing that here either. I think he's just in shock about how hard Henare is hitting him right now.
Oh, again, those guys in the front row. Mercy on the hard camera side, at least, but Henare taken in amongst the punters here, and Caveman Ug's going to join them.
This is not going to end well, I can tell you that much now. Is there security? Is there anything? Did I organise it?
Tino, I think that was your job. Why didn't you organise the security?
It was my job. And now, fans getting up close and personal with two of the biggest men here at Tamashii. Oh, Jesus.
Chops on the menu here in the Croxton, and now Henare spent those time street fighting in New Zealand, and that street fight instinct coming out.
Now fighting each other right in front of everyone. They're not even letting up. They don't care who's around. Just kill someone.
We can have a lawsuit on our hands, Gino. What the hell?
They killed Phil.
Come on, they're concerning.
5 minutes have expired.
Oh, what's going on?
What's going on?
It's just customers, Gino.
Our security team was trying to help. And the fans are getting involved. This is why you're going to come down to Tamashii. Look at it.
What are you paying that security team over there?
Hot dog and a handshake.
It's preferable to those double chops across the chest that Ugg just received.
Well, this main event has turned wild very quickly. Both men in the crowd, not holding back on each other. As Ugg lays another big shot into Henare's midsection. I think Ugg would like to get back in the ring. I think he's had enough of this.
They tried to, but our guardrail's already smashed to pieces.
You know, referee lending a hand, good idea. Very smart ref, get him back into the ring. Did they just break another guardrail?
They just broke another guardrail. Oh no! Well, that would have been disaster for Henare if he tasted that ring post, but got out the back door and buried a boot into the chest of Caveman Ugg.
The referee's trying to find some kind of control, but it's just not working at this point. Who's going to tell these men what to do?
Yeah, well, I think we can all breathe a slight sigh of relief that Aaron Henare's back inside the ring, at least for the time being. Definitely, this is a incredible advertisement for New Japan Tamashii and the live experience our fans here in Thornbury have been getting. It's certainly up close and personal if you buy a ticket to a Tamashii show.
Agnes made his way back into the ring, but Henare's just straight back on top of him. A big headbutt there by Henare.
This your main event on the 4th volume of New Japan Tamashii. Kyle Fletcher having just defeated Robbie Eagles. Aaron Henare looking to go 2 for 2 for United Empire and pounding about 5 heavy forearm blows to the chest of Caveman Ugg. Oh, he's not thinking Streets of Rage, Gino.
How is he even lifting this man?
Not enough for the Streets of Rage, but that Maori slam.
That would have taken a lot of energy expenditure by Henare there to get Ugg up and onto his shoulders. Ugg, not a small man, 130 kilos. And Henare now just beating down. Almost like tenderizing meat, Chris.
Aaron Henare, well, tenderizing meat is not usually on Aaron Henare's agenda, but so pounding across the chest of Caveman Ugg. Oh, Ugg, hold on there.
He saw the spinning back fist coming out.
What in the world, Caveman Ugg?
I told you, Chris, don't underestimate the athleticism of Ugg. Crowd behind Ugg as he shows why he's in this main event spot.
On now, butterflying the arms, and Henare hoists him all the way up the hard way. Look to take him for a ride. Henare resistant. And again, booting Henare down as Caveman Ugg in full control. Big splash, a lot of weight across the chest of Henare too. Not quite yet. Ugg in control after that big splash down across the chest of Henare. Ugg making...
Henare, took all the weight of Ugg there in that splash. You can see him holding on to his ribs. That would have absolutely taken the wind out of him.
And now, barrels Henare into the corner. Look at this, a monkey flip all the way across the ring.
Again, the athleticism of Ugg. Chris there showing.
Unbelievable effort here for Caveman Ugg. I really do think Caveman Ugg, if we have a best of the super heavyweights in New Japan, Gino, Caveman Ugg has to be one of the top entrants.
Oh, absolutely. And I'll tell you, probably one of the favourites coming into it too.
Creating distance, overhand chop for Henare, who is not having any of it. Once more from Caveman Ugg.
Now both men deciding to prove who's tougher than the other.
It's only a replay of what we had in our semi-final with Carl Fletcher and Robbie Eagles. Who wants it more in our main event here in Tamashii?
Now rapid fire from both men.
As we started this match, so too will we continue. At least they're inside the ring and not all around the ringside area here in our main event.
At least our fans and security aren't in danger.
Henare's chest might be caving in the pec with that overhand.
Caveman's caved him in, Chris.
There we go. That's why they pay you the big bucks, Gino.
We're getting paid.
Maybe you aren't.
Some big chops traded by both men. Again, this just feels like a torture test.
It's a test of endurance, test of stamina. And there's more, I think, in the conditioning of Aaron Henare. There you see it. Little bit more impact. And Caveman Ugg moving back a step and half a step. But that was a big shot that rocked Henare there.
Now he's almost Kabashi-style chops in the corner. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but I did.
Well, let's see if Henare has a clip. Made him think about that last one. But Ugg right back on his feet.
Ugg wants more. This has just turned into a chop battle. And now clotheslines, Chris.
Well, it's what I said at the top. Caveman Ugg, yeah, an incredibly agile super heavyweight. But this is, the fans came to see big men slapping meat, and that's what we're getting here. Right on the button of Caveman Ugg, who doesn't know where he is. And Loopy, spaghetti leg, and down on the floor. Perhaps the only two on the floor as everybody else in Thornbury here wants to be up on their feet here for our main event.
Incredible by both men there, but Henare able to get Caveman Ugg right on the button with that kick. Ugg kind of thought I can throw another one, but before you knew it, both men were down. The
Might be.
referee counting, but both men slowly coming to their feet.
It might be whoever gets there first will win this one. Henare pulling himself up.
Henare stomping that foot. He's got a game plan. He knows what's coming, but Ugg might have other ideas.
Stuffed that takedown, did Caveman Ugg. Not the elbow, pointed the elbow to the top of the head.
Ugg catches him though.
Oh, what in the world is this? Henare doesn't know. And fear and desperation running through his mind.
Have you ever seen that before, Chris? Have you ever seen Aaron Henare be manhandled?
Dead weight was Aaron Henare. Caveman Ugg muscling him around this. Oh, so close on the 2 count. And if Caveman Ugg had enough in him to hook the leg, you'd have to believe that would have been 3.
Caveman Ugg surely thought he had enough there to take out Aaron Henare, but Henare showing all the determination in the world again. Loves to be the underdog kicking out. Ugg's going to have to come up with something special to end this.
This might be it. Looking for that Ugg driver. Henare just able to escape. Oh, and that knee rocked him right underneath the jaw.
Again, Ugg catching Henare, but Henare with that headbutt.
A breeze block of a head, and again, and a third time. Now here we go, Berserker Bomb. And have you ever seen Gino? Oh, so close. Have you ever seen in your years of watching Caveman Ugg him get dropped with a Berserker Bomb like that?
Never ever. What an incredible feat of strength there by Aaron Henare as he looks to finish this main event right now.
Henare with a rampage on his mind, and what? Hey, what's this now?
It's bad luck Fale. He's just coming to celebrate.
Bad luck
He was
Fale.
easy during the main event. So
No,
much.
hang on, wait a second. Was that Lyrebird Luchi's here, and Jack Bonza with the heel hook on Henare, and
Hey, hold on. He's just saying, job well done, Henare.
well, he got jobbed all right. This isn't
I don't
a
think
Yano
Ugg even knows what's
situation.
happened.
And my monitor's working just fine, and the Ugg driver drops Henare. Gino, what is
Great
this
win by
now?
Ugg.
What is
Here's
this
your
now?
winner,
Don't ask me. I'm not even in the Rogan.
You said you were in the Rogani group chat.
Ugg getting the win on Henare. And look, his friends came out to congratulate him.
It's, well, evidently his friends, or at least some investment being made here when it comes to Jack Bonza, Bad Luck Fale, Lyrebird Luchi.
Maybe they're just 4 guys.
Well, there's certainly 4 guys, all right.
You judged too early, Chris. Listen to the man. Salute the man, Chris.
Why?
He's a war hero.
What war?
Melbourne! Now, why are we here? Something special is happening. Something really special is going to happen here. As you can see, we're here recruiting. And the Rogue Army want to recruit the sexiest beast there is out here. Is this what you want? Is this what you want?
Do you want to join the Rogue Army?
And there is your answer. Just 4 guys, perhaps, but 4 guys with a purpose in New Japan Tamashii and as part of Bullet Club, the Rogue Army, getting a super heavyweight member in the form of Caveman Ugg. And after the years as a fan favorite in Melbourne, Caveman Ugg joining the dark side with Fale and the Rogue Army. What an end to NJPW Tamashii Volume 4. What an event. More to come from Tamashii, NJPW1972.com. For more information, for Gino Gambino, I'm Chris Charlton. We'll see you next time. Gokigenyo. Sayonara.